Hi, I'm here to tell a story of eFarm, which is my baby.
One section. Hold on to the timing. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, here I'm to tell you the story of eFarm. It's my baby and my marriage and my career. So all put into one. To just give you a big picture of what I'm going to talk about is basically the agri supply chain. Everyone is eating or eaten today. Everyone is talking about farm to fork. And you get your vegetables and fruits, it's hand held and transported in the most vaguest of ways. And if you know where your vegetables come from, you'll stop being a vegetarian. And sometimes meats are cheaper than vegetables today. At one point, onions were more expensive than 1 kg of chicken. That was in Chennai and in Bangalore. So if you see, there's a 500% hike in the prices, and people in between are making the money, not the farmer and not the customer who's paying for it. So this is the larger picture of the supply chain. And we have wonderful people trying to organize this unorganized market. It's like the blind man and the elephant, trying to put together solutions from the finance side, from the IT side, from the R&D, and subsidies, everything, what you can think of, because food touches everyone. But what is failing in all this is that there is no data on the entire value chain in any product of agriculture today. So what did we do? We defined the problem as data, and we also identified the key problem was marketing and using technology in the right places for enabling communication and movement of data. So it was a Desi problem. We took a little bit and copied all the concepts and made one solution called eFarm, and it got a little better with eFarm Direct. So it's a mix of the eBay model, the Amul model, and the Dabbawalas in Mumbai. So we actually studied with them for a week. We stayed with them, organized, delivered dabbas, and to find out what the solution was and how they kind of cut costs. So what we did was we intervened before innovating. We just introduced weights, sorting, grading, and actually brought about using technology in voice instead of using it as websites or SMSs, because we found that people are more comfortable talking in India. So we came up with call centers in a model. So I'll just tell you in short, we have a brick model and a click model. The brick model is basically, we have institutionalized a model of collection centers and distribution centers for fresh produce. So this is connected through the platform of eFarm and eFarm Direct. And we help farmers actually bring the produce, grade them, get good prices, make the sale happen. And post-sales, we also give buyers the required analytics on cost cutting and how to manage. And this is eFarm, our eFarm Direct, a portal which caters to all in the value chain. And what we do is we introduce technology to actually bring about the change in revenue of the whole value chain so that we understand where the revenues are coming and where the expenses are going. And the team is a yin-yang team. That's me and my partner and husband, Venkat Subramaniam. I take care of all the marketing and the HR part of the story, and he takes care of the IT. And we are, what kind of enterprise are we? We are a social enterprise, bringing together marketing, training, and technology for the farmer. We work, what is the social about it? We work with differently abled people. All our call centers are run with differently abled people. And what is next about the enterprise is that in the last 4 years, we've grown from just an idea, and we've gone into actually building a virtual and a physical network of people. We are in 5 states, 10,000 active paid users in the last year, and we have about a base of 3 lakh farmers across South. of whom we are developing a more engaging model.
Thanks, Srivalli. Your time is up. Question and answers, please.
Your end customers, how many of them are businesses versus consumers, final consumers?
We are operating on a B2B model where our customers are exporters, restaurants and hotels and a lot of institutions like educational institutions and hospitals who are paying a lot of attention on the entire supply chain because the cost is really going up in India. So we don't really cater to the last mile customer. We are more of a B2B business.
So I have a question which is here. Srivalli?
Yes. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, my apologies. Okay. So my question is, you've talked about the supplies, the demand side of things, which primarily you work with, the larger B2B kind of. Was that me? No, that's not me. Okay. So how do you manage the supply side, which is how is it that you reach out to the farmers?
We work with a lot of NGOs like Hand in Hand. We work with the NABARD joint liability groups, and we work with agricultural universities on their clusters. We work with the government KVKs across 5 states. So that's how we grow. We basically don't go directly to the farmer. There are already many micro ventures who have already organized these people as groups. So we actually go through them, like we're going with a lot of micro finance people who have set up these groups. That's how we reach the market. We set up groom entrepreneurs to take over the collection centers, which is close to them, which is more like the Amul model. We collect closer to the farmer and distribute closer to the customer, that is the hotels and.
Hi, Srivalli. This is Deepa. Congratulations on your initiative. It's just really heartwarming to see you're reaching out to the bottom of the pyramid. The question I have for you, so you have multiple partners.
Yes.
There's 2 of you managing the business. Fragmented partners, if you will, lots of NGOs.
Yeah.
How do you hold people accountable and how do you scale?
What has happened is there's very little which has been done in agriculture, very little in marketing, and that too using technology and understanding data. And a lot has happened since eChopal. And what we have done is we actually spent about 1.5 years actually going through all these previous examples, understanding where they failed. We actually gone and, we used to sell, we were very popular in the media because we were selling from the boot of our car in Chennai, and we were in all the papers, or like we are a Harvard case study already. And I have probably gone to the Global Philanthropy Forum and talked to a lot of people. One thing we found is that we are going through a lot of students and young entrepreneurs who want to change their jobs from being an IT to get into some kind of food related thing. So what is happening is it's word of mouth in the community we have built. We have actually created about 1,000 entrepreneurs in the last 4 years. And we actually do an entrepreneurial training program every month, which people from across India and world have come and, on their own with just some Facebook and online Twitter kind of stuff. So what we have done is we've gone through educational institutions, traditional CII, TIE, and that kind of platforms which the agriculture has never tapped, and that's how we kind of reached out to all these people. And we are a 15-member team as of now. Thanks to my this is my 3rd venture. So previous ventures, and I've been a marketing person with ICICI, which kind of trained me from the core, and today it's known as the factory of churning out CEOs. So if you see, most of the bank CEOs have come out from ICICI. And I'm very proud that my base was there, hard 5 years base. You're taught to do everything. You basically, if you see the last slide of mine, if I would like to show, if it's possible.
I think we have one more question.
Yeah, sure.
Srivalli.
Okay. Srivalli, thank you for sharing all of this. Your initial problem, the business problem that you were trying to address is the end customer and the fact that the end goods were actually expensive. Can you talk about the actual monetary benefits, one, for your farmers who are participating in your network, And second, for the end consumer who's actually buying the product from your farmer network, can you sort of quantify the benefits for them?
Yeah. We see up to a 30-40% increase in what goes into the hands of the farmer. And we see about a 15 to 20% drop in the vegetable bill or the outlay, the restaurants, the catering people actually do. Today, if you give me a pyramid or a location, I can tell you how much people are there, how many hotels are there. There's a metrics we have derived, and this is one of its kind in the whole world. We've been recognized slowly for that, bringing about that kind of analytics. And also, a restaurant can come to me and tell me, this is my budget, please organize my menu accordingly. We've done that for some of the South Indian kitchens. So there is, in short, we are able to bring down 20% of the customer's bill, and the farmer gets more than 30% extra of what he's getting.
Thanks,
over a period of time, we might.
Thank you.